Hey guys, how's everyone doing? This is Nick from ForexNoob.com with the daily analysis. Today is Tuesday, the 9th of July 2019. Time is 9 a.m. here in the UK. You're looking at a phone call. Wrong time for a phone call. Right as the webinar starts. Yeah, sorry about that. You're looking at a GBP AUD daily chart. In today's analysis, we're going to be looking for price action setups. So yeah, let's get started, guys. We're also going to be looking at the upcoming news. So what do we have today in terms of news? Oh, I forgot to start my screen drawing software. 1 second. Right, here we go. So what do we have today? We have Fed Chairman Powell speaking. That's going to be potentially a big one. As usual, when a speech happens, things can move like crazy. Where is he speaking today? It's just at some event. I mean, it could have an effect, but I wouldn't be too worried about this one. It could have an effect, of course, but it doesn't sound like it's going to be anything majorly important. Later this week, we do have some more important ones from Powell. Fed Chairman Powell testifies. This one's probably going to be a bigger one, and I imagine this one also, when he testifies again on Thursday, is going to be a bigger one. Any speech is dangerous, of course, guys, so do be careful around 1:45 p.m. today. But the nature of this speech, he's just delivering opening remarks. So this is going to be a carefully prepared speech, and they're going to make sure not to include anything that can affect the markets. There are audience questions expected, but I haven't really seen Powell move the market much with audience questions, so I wouldn't really be too worried about this. Tomorrow morning, we have GDP and the manufacturing production. So again, those are kind of important, but I'm not too worried about them. I'm probably just going to ignore those ones, actually. So let's get started with the actual analysis, guys. What are we looking at? I did some analysis yesterday for a mentoring student. What did I have this marked? Oh yeah, we're looking for a potential if price stalled out, which it didn't. Right. So I'm going to unmark this one, as this one's no longer a trade we want to take. I'm going to look at the potentials I marked yesterday. And then we'll look for some new stuff. Right, so starting with AUDCAD. AUDCAD's potentially stalling out on support. It's not quite stalled out yet. I'm just watching here to see what happens. If it stalls out, I'll be looking for a long trade, possibly. But right now, it's not really stalling, so I'm just not that convinced that it will stall. So just a wait and watch attitude towards this one. We'll wait, we'll see if it stalls. It looks like it's making new lows, so it looks like it might break through this support area. If we were to enter a trade here, it would be a counter trend reversal anyway. Counter trends trades are somewhat risky. So yeah, just watch and wait with this one. What was I doing here? Oh yeah, here we were looking for either a potential long or a potential short from the support area. If it started its move up, which it has, which I've missed. Is anyone long on this? If it started to move up, we'd be looking for a long trade, but if it started to push down and break these lows, like I had marked originally, we'd be looking for a short trade. Something like this. You can see it didn't break those lows, but it is going up right now. It just made a pretty decent move up. But no one's in this, are they? Don't think I saw this one on the forum. But to be completely honest, I was not on the forum as much as I normally would be yesterday. Oh, actually, Viet posted it 4 hours ago to the forum. Alright, so we got Viet, Michael, Ashley, Bizarp, and Shujur in it. Are any of you guys in here right now? Oh no, sorry, Shujur is not in it. The RR is too low for him. Oh, and Stan's in it. Sorry, I'm just reading from the forum. I can't move the forum on the screen because whenever I do, people try to sign up despite it being a private forum. So I don't want people to see the URL. But yeah, no one seems to be in it who's in this room right now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy Viet's numbers on. Viet got in on a bit of a retrace, so I think he got a better entry. I'll copy and paste Viet's numbers onto here. Alright, so this is how Viet's handling the trade. Interesting. I would have expected a slightly higher target, but it is a 1.67 risk reward ratio, so it's over the minimum. It's over the minimum. I think there's potential for a bigger risk to reward ratio on this one. Why is Viet's risk to reward ratio so small? Oh, I think he has minor support resistance here, which makes sense. Okay. All right. So look, this is a decent trade. It's going well right now. If you're in it, I think Viet's target is fine. It makes sense, but do look to extend that target. Definitely look to extend it. If we get a nice push up to that target, then extend it. But yeah, other than that, guys, it looks like a decent trade, so do hold on to it. EURAUD, we're looking at something similar. But it ended up moving down a bit too much. So the risk to reward ratio is just going to be horrible here. It'll be 1.5 at the next resistance area, so it's just not as good. So yeah, I don't think anyone's in this one. Let me check the forum for this one. No one's in this one, and I see why they wouldn't be in it. It's a bit of a risky trade. So I'm going to mark this one off. We're looking at this as a potential yesterday. Right, Euro New Zealand. EURJPY went into actually. EURJPY is stuck in a bit of a range right now, and we're just looking for price to bounce within this range. Now, it got almost down to the bottom of the range, but then it started kind of moving sideways with a slight upward slope. So we're still looking for price to hit the bottom of that range. I love range trading. Range trading is the best, so I'm hoping that this does drop down to the bottom of that range. That's why I'm keeping an eye on it, but if it doesn't, it doesn't. So let's just watch this one closely. If it hits the bottom of that range, look for long trades. Euro, New Zealand, I had this mark yesterday. Now I remember. I had this mark yesterday thinking it might stall out here and then continue down, but it doesn't look like it's going to. It looks like we're seeing some euro strength, which is quite good. So it doesn't look like this is going to stall out and continue down, so I'll unmark this one too. GBP CAD. It looks like nothing's going to stop this downtrend. GBP USD. Yeah. I'll mark these two. There's just nothing much going on GBP USD that I'd want to trade. It's breaking through the support area. Support here is tightly packed. It's just a bit risky, a bit messy. I don't want to do anything there. New Zealand CAD. This one looks a bit more interesting. We got a counter trend reversal forming on New Zealand CAD. It's a counter to this big bearish trend, but this trend seems to be losing a bit of steam because it's bounced from this area twice and it looks like it's about to bounce a third time. So there's potential long here on New Zealand CAD. Right, something like this perhaps. Good risk to reward ratio. It's counter trend, so the initial risk to reward ratio would be 1.5 and then could possibly extend that one up a little bit higher. This one has some potential. I'm interested in trading this one. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. Let's look for other potential setups. AUDCAD has broken down. A bit late to enter that. If you wanted to be in, you should be in already. AUDUSD hit that resistance area again, gave us a great reversal at the end of last week, and is now just dropping. Ooh, BTC USD is back up at 12,000. 12,500. Almost hit 13. Interesting. Yeah, I don't see much with CADCHF. I don't see much with CADJPY. CADJPY looks to be starting an uptrend, so if it does dip back down to the support area, there's potential for a long there. Actually, you know what? I'm going to mark this as a potential setup. CHFJPY, nothing much here, guys. EURAUD, nothing much. We already looked at this one, now that I remember. I like it. It's just, yeah. Like I said, it's just... This indecision candle is too big. It makes the risk-reward ratio pretty bad. DXY is looking interesting though. DXY is about to hit this resistance area. So we're seeing some pretty good dollar strength at the moment. Is it going to last and is it going to break through this resistance area? Maybe, maybe not. Let's see what happens. This would be a pretty significant high for, if it breaks out, not this first resistance area, but if this uptrend keeps going and it breaks through this second resistance area, this would be a very significant high. This would be the highest it's been since the 12th of May 2017. So I'd be interested to see if it does break through this resistance area. If it doesn't break through the resistance area, there's potential for a short there. I know a lot of you don't trade DXY, but it's worth looking at. Need to redo my support resistance areas for EURONOK. EURUSD is hitting this support area. It's a somewhat significant support area, actually. It did cause price to turn around quite significantly last time. Then before that, on the 1st of April, it caused price to turn around. Before that, on the 7th of March, it caused price to turn around. And even when price broke through it, it started acting as resistance. Had two bounces here. This one kind of broke through, but you can see it's a pretty consistent and strong resistance, support resistance area. Price is hitting this support resistance area again. I'm going to watch closely and look for price to stall on this area. Yeah. That looks good. GBP CAD, nothing. GBP CHF, yeah, nothing, guys. I'm not convinced of a short on GBP-JPY. I know some of you are thinking of going short as kind of a continuation type thing, but I'm just not convinced it's fully broken this support area, so I'm not doing anything there. SPXUSD. For those of you who can trade CFDs, so pretty much everyone that's not in America, I believe, can trade them. Or as long as your broker has CFDs as an option. There does seem to be a potential continuation forming here. I can't remember how significant these highs were, but I don't think my chart goes back enough. Were these all-time highs with S&P 500? I know that I should know this stuff, but I don't generally trade this. I've only started trading it recently, so you know this is not my area of expertise when it comes to trading. Generally speaking, I stick to Forex. I do dabble a bit in futures and stuff like that, but nothing too serious. So now that I'm messing about with CFDs, I sometimes feel like a bit of a newbie in terms of knowing the history of this. So the S&P 500, I think I remember reading it's at all-time highs, or it could just be at highs that it hasn't seen in, like 15 or so years. Certainly not in the last 10 years, because my charts go back to 2008 for this. And we haven't seen these highs since at least 2008. So this is significant stuff for the S&P 500, guys. It's in an uptrend. It's popped back down to support. Let's see if it stalls out on this support area. If it does, there's potential for a long trade. So what I would be looking for would be price to stall on support, then a long continuation trade. USDJPY has hit resistance. It's stalling out on this resistance area. Potential short from here. I'm going to look and see if price continues to stall. If it stalls here by the end of the day, I'll be looking for a short tomorrow. Quite a bit going on, really. Nothing on these. I'm not going to do anything with that, guys. I know it looks decent, but the risk to reward ratios are just really way too high. Right, so I think that's it for potentials. Let's take a quick review. So GBP AUD, there's an open trade here, which is kind of going okay, I guess. New Zealand JPY is an open trade here, which is kind of going okay, I guess. Not great, not bad, just okay. Euro AUD, this one just opened this morning. Yeah, I'm not in this one, by the way. just to clarify. But it was shared to the forum by Viet, and a fair few people seem to be in it. So it's going quite well. So good luck with that one, guys. As for the potentials, we have AUDCAD on top of a support area. Looks like it's going to break that support area, but if it doesn't, if it stalls here, there's potential for a long trade. But also, it looks like there could be a bit of a short continuation here. If it breaks through and then pulls back, I'll be looking for a short continuation. EUROJPY, we're just looking at this potential range here. We need price to hit the bottom of the range. EURUSD, price hitting support. If it stalls out here, I'll be looking for a long trade. It's a pretty strong support area. We have bounces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bounces. Even a small wick bounce here. So pretty significant support area. It's hitting it again. Let's see what happens if price stalls here. New Zealand CAD, there's a potential long trade here. This one looks okay. I'm not really that excited over this. You might be able to tell, and it's simply because I don't really like this pair. I don't like these weird crosses, especially New Zealand crosses. I find them too messy and unreliable. So while this is a setup, I'm just not that excited over it. It is counter trend, so it has a high degree of risk, although the trend does look like it's dying out, so it's not the same amount of risk that I would assume if I was trading a very strong bearish trend. This trend was strong at a point, but has since kind of started to slow down. But that being said, it doesn't mean that the trend's over. It could easily continue down. So trade this with care if you're getting in. CADJPY, we're just looking at a potential continuation if price dips back down to support. DXY, price is hitting resistance, so we're just going to see if price stalls at this resistance area. S&P 500, looking for a potential continuation if price stalls out at this support area. And USDJPY, price is stalling out at resistance, so there's potential for a short here if it does continue to stall out. I'll be watching these all on, the daily, 12-hour, 8-hour, 6-hour. I'll be watching them across all time frames, except for New Zealand CAD, which is already formed on the daily. So if I were to get in on this one, it would be on the daily. I'm not sure if I will get in on this, though. I'll think about it, and I'll share to the forum if I do. But yeah, that wraps it up for the analysis, guys. Is there any questions? All right, it doesn't look like there's any questions, guys. Looks like we have a low turnout today, but that usually happens when I have to do these early webinars. This 9 a.m. webinar is a bit earlier than our normal time, but I have to record a podcast after this podcast episode. For those of you who don't know, I'm launching a podcast. I'm trying to get about five podcasts recorded before I release. I've recorded 2 awesome ones. I'm going to record the 3rd and the 4th and the 5th this coming week. So today is one of the recordings that I'm doing. I've got some pretty cool guests. I got a member from the course who joined about a year ago and is now quitting his job for full-time trading. Just to be clear, he was already trading. It's not like he joined the course a year ago and then magically was able to become such a good trader that he's willing to quit his job. He's already been trading for some time. He joined the course after he'd been trading for some time. Honestly, I don't know too much about the circumstances under which he's quitting his job for full-time trading, but that's what the podcast is going to be about. We're going to be discussing that. Most of you guys probably know who he is, but I'll leave it as a surprise because he's well known on the forum. I have a guy from a huge prop firm, the CEO of a huge prop firm that basically a prop firm is a place where skilled traders can trade the prop firm's money and get a cut of the returns. Every prop firm has different cuts that they give. Some even give salaries. It's prop firms are pretty cool places to work for if you're a trader, depending what you want out of your trading. So I've got the CEO of a prop firm coming on, and I've got another Forex podcaster coming on today. So I'm sure you guys are going to love this podcast. Anyway, I've talked enough about it. I'm going to record an episode of it today, and I'm going to be releasing it hopefully by the end of July. So yeah, thank you guys for attending, and I'll see you guys for tomorrow's webinar. I think is going to be at probably our normal time of 10 a.m. So yeah, I'll see you guys for tomorrow's webinar. Thank you and bye.